Hi guys, I have a very great update for you. I think you're going to love it. So not much has changed between the last couple of iterations, but I just wanted to go over the changes that we've made since submitting the initial design for the prelim IR set. So we have reincorporated the covered porch over on the right side, and I really like this clipped element here. It gives an opportunity for the front porch to have a little less prominent weight on the front elevation, and it also allows an opportunity for this very nice gable roof over the living room high windows. These are a little bit higher than the ceiling height of the main space, but they're not peaked. We're saving the peaked windows just for the back porch and the back master suite. I'm also incorporating the more natural toned cedar shingles here at the right bedroom with the hip roof. I really like this. And I like the idea of reincorporating the black color here at the left bedroom. But I thought, given how much of the black material we wound up having, and the fact that it's mostly on side elevations, I thought maybe it would make sense economically to switch to mostly board and batten siding. So most of this is just going to be vertical siding, either painted white or painted black. But then we do have areas that are reserved for shingles, specifically this right front bedroom. And then if we zoom around here to the back, I say let's keep the dark color shingles for this nook area and the space leading down into this below grade patio. I think that's a nice way to reincorporate a higher end finish down at the spaces where we can really walk next to it and put our hand on it and appreciate it. But then the color scheme that you guys requested I think works fine, where we do mostly black on this left elevation. I like this a lot. Now, one of the comments that you gave me recently that I'm not quite sure if I'm understanding correctly is that you were worried about this bay window element feeling a little crammed in here and wanting to see perhaps a shed roof over this. Well, I do agree it's a bit cramped. Again, I really wish we weren't up against this daylight plane limit, this slanted line. I really wish we weren't, but the nature of Palo Alto is what it is, and so unless we want to make some major concessions on the overall ground floor height or the height of the ground floor relative to grade, which affects the basement down below, I think this is a compromise worth accepting. But yeah, it's a bit crammed, but to make up for the relatively low roof heights, and again, we're talking about relatives here. I mean, I've got a guy in here modeled. The inside isn't perfect yet, but there's plenty of height. This is going to be a really awesome shaped bedroom, a very unique shape. And it does have a shed roof. This is just a very low slope, simple shed roof to shed water, whatever water might get blown in here by the rain, because it's mostly protected by the main roof overhang. Personally, I think it looks nice. I really do look forward to showing you a more cleaned up version of that interior when we go into the next phase of design development. You'll see how great that space is. I wouldn't have let the design proceed as far as we had without knowing that that was going to be awesome and acceptable. Another question you had was, did I raise the ceiling height here for this bedroom? And to be honest, I did a little bit to sort of make the hip roof feel very craftsman during earlier iterations. I had really built up the amount of trim and made this hip roof feel very heavy and built up. but based on the feedback that you guys have given me and trying to save on cost, I'm now showing a much simpler, a much more basic hip roof overhang, which does allow us to express more wall height and ceiling height in this bedroom. So I thought to myself, why not? Why not take advantage of that? I think it'd be really, really special. Bring in these very high windows to appreciate whatever tree canopy may be visible overhanging on this side of the house. And, just to see what it looks like without them, it to me feels like, oh boy, we really need to do something to bring this down. But that starts to present challenges, let's hide these trees, with how we tie into the rest of the roof happening over here. Now, it's not an insurmountable challenge, but I say, why take away this, what I think is a really awesome feature and really does take inspiration from those images that you shared with me? Why take that away just to fix it later? Like, let's celebrate it. I think it's great. So the ceiling height in here is a bit high. I think we're looking at a 10'8" ceiling height. But I think it's going to be really awesome. And so let's go ahead and take a quick jaunt to the back. No major changes here. I did reincorporate the trapezoid-shaped windows at the master suite, which I think is a really nice thing to incorporate. I think this is a very handsome rear elevation. One other change I incorporated was to change up this trim a little bit at the garage door. I raised up this natural tone wood to align with the doors and windows here, and then just filled the space up with a little more black material, black painted wood trim that I think just really makes this elevation look more proportional. And I also shortened the overhang on this side. And I just think, standing here at the rear driveway gate, that's a very handsome design. There's a lot going on here. A lot of really beautiful stuff. And look at this, from the rear, if anyone's coming in this way, if you ever let guests in come in this way, no one's seeing you at the balcony. Down at a ground level. I mean, maybe there. Oh, hold on. If we really get eye level with this guy who's standing a couple feet higher than us, there's really no seeing that balcony. But from your rear neighbor's perspective, if we go and get at their windows, this is kind of their window view. That's not so bad, right? I mean, this is a bit of a taller balcony guardrail than you may be used to, just because I wanted to be higher than this relatively low sloped roof that's spanning this long span here. So this is a bit taller, so it's going to be a more private balcony than, say, just with a 42-inch standard guardrail. Oh, and since we brought the porch over and we made the change of perhaps considering the wood tone material here, I decided let's bring it down here as well. I wasn't quite as concerned with this elevation, this gable end, and its connection to these windows because of the tree canopies. I thought it was better to have the peak relate more to these windows that are centered on the wall. But it's mostly so obscured, maybe it really isn't too big of a concern. But And let's go into the master suite because I talked about bringing those windows back in. So let's just take a view. And I'm not saying it's intentional. I'm not saying we tried to match the neighbor's roof slope here, but it is almost kind of nice that that very prominent roof does seem to relate to this very clean window design we're doing. And when you stand up here at this window and you're appreciating your garden window boxes, this extra window height does let you appreciate this rather tall and impressive tree on your neighbor's property. And let's go to the balcony too. So I talked about this being a bit taller than 42 inches. It is 49, call it 50 inches. So it's a bit taller than you might be used to, but again, it's all about hiding this roof. Hiding that roof right there. So one thing the planning department might want to talk about is your view. Let's see, if we get to the eye height here, is the view to these windows here. So we may have to incorporate some sort of screen or lattice element here. Oh, that's kind of cool. I mean, I know what you'll say. You'll say, you know, let's simplify the screen. But I think this is a pretty neat design. And, you know, it was wrong of me not to show a screen or a high wall on this side. Planning is going to require something that at least comes up to 5 feet, if not 6 feet height. This is now coming up just about to door height. And I think it's a nice bit of detail. Maybe it should come out further and be end capped. Now, I'll keep noodling on this. I don't want to keep belaboring this meeting. Let me show you a more finalized design in a little bit. But in the meantime, I think I should get this revised design over into the Palo Alto Planning Department hands so that we can review this design tomorrow during our prelim IR. Thank you so much. Bye, guys.